to a Book Barn.
Oh, thanks, Alaina. We're so glad that you're here today. Hey, everyone. We're ready for another Littles episode.
And two of my granddaughters are here, Scarlett and Alaina.
I'm Laisha.
And I'm Lanie.
And let's talk children's books.
And I'm Scarlett.
Hey, Scarlett. We're so glad that you're here. We have a few questions for you today. So let's get started.
Okay.
So, Scarlett, would you tell our listeners, how old are you?
I am 9.
9 years old. And what is your favorite subject in school?
Reading.
So, Scarlett, if you had the choice, M&Ms or Skittles?
M&Ms.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs all the way.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
So what's your favorite thing to do after school?
Probably read video games.
Scarlett, do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be an author.
Oh, nice. Do you have a favorite author?
Probably R.L. Stein.
And what is your favorite book?
Charlotte's Web.
I love that one.
And do you have a favorite book series?
Goosebumps.
Makes sense. Where is your favorite place to read?
In my room.
Where it's nice and quiet, right?
Yes.
And what book will we be discussing today?
Amulet the Stonekeeper.
Okay, so Scarlett and I looked up the author. I hope that I'm saying his name correctly. It looks like Kazu Kibuishi?
Yeah,
Kibuishi.
looks like Kibuishi.
Kibuishi.
Yeah.
This is a fantasy graphic novel. There are 9 books in the Amulet series, and it's been on the New York Times bestseller list. When we looked it up, the minimum age for this series is 2nd to 3rd grade, but Scholastic recommends it for 5th and 6th graders. And Scarlett, what grade will you be in?
4th.
Okay.
And I read it in 2nd.
Oh, nice. Look at you go.
So what can you tell us about this book?
So my least favorite part is that on page 5, the dad dies.
Oh, wow.
So they move to a new house that has been passed down for generations, and they start cleaning because it's a disaster. It's like a party for them. They're pretending to attack the house with mops and
Fun.
The younger brother, Nathan, finds a library with statues of the great-grandfather, because that was, his house that he passed down to them. So Emily walks in. She walks to this, thing. It has a handprint on it, and she puts her hand there, and she scrapes it, and it starts turning.
Mm.
Then she finds the amulet.
Okay. So what can you tell us about the amulet without giving away too many spoilers?
So it can talk to her, but if you listen to it too much, you may gain too much power and become evil.
Mm. So how do you keep that in control?
You can't listen to every word it says, because sometimes it's wrong.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, it sounds like an interesting book. Would you recommend it to your friends?
Yes.
So if you had to rate this book from 1 to 5 stars, what would you say?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. All
That
right.
sounds like a good rating.
I just didn't like how at first the dad dies.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you start it off with such a sad story on
Really,
page
yeah.
5?
But you kept reading.
Yes.
And it was worth it in the end.
Yes.
All right.
I hope you keep reading, and maybe you'll come back and discuss another book with us.
Yeah.
Yay.
So I'm thinking that our audience wants to get to know their host. So Scarlett, would you please do the honors and interview us?
Okay, Leisha.
Yes.
How many years have you been married?
I have been married for 32 years.
How many kids and grandchildren do you have?
I have 3 boys, and then I have 2 daughter-in-laws, plus a bonus daughter, and I have 2 very sweet little granddaughters now.
What jobs have you worked?
Oh, goodness. Just little odd jobs when I was high school and college, but after I went to college, I was an x-ray tech, and I worked in a hospital. And then when my youngest son was born, I took pictures of everyone around me, and that kind of just blossomed into a career in photography. I opened my own studio. I started it in my basement of my home, and then it grew, and I was able to build a studio on our property, and then it kind of grew some more, and I bought a bigger studio in our small little town, and I did that for 14 years. I work for my husband's business, or our business. I do the bookkeeping. I've done a lot of different things. And now I'm a full-time grandma.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks.
What is your favorite TV show?
I'm going to say The Office.
What is your favorite food?
I don't have necessarily a favorite. Actually, I do. Potatoes. Potatoes in all forms.
What are your favorite hobbies or pastimes?
Well, when my first granddaughter was born, I decided that I wanted to learn how to sew. I sew my own clothes, quite a bit of them, and I sew for both my little granddaughters, something that I found that I really enjoy.
What goals are you pursuing right now?
Goodness, that's a hard one. Well, I guess to have a really good podcast with my friend Lanie.
What is your favorite book?
My favorite book is probably always the last one I just read, I think. No, I love them all. They're all different, and I don't know that I could actually pick a favorite. I just really like to read.
Good answer.
Thank you. So I think we're going to go ahead and toss it over to your grandma.
Okay, same questions, but it's Lanie's turn.
Okay. Grandma, how many years have you been married?
We have been married for 34 years.
How many kids and grandchildren do you have?
I have 3 boys, 3 daughter-in-laws, and soon to be 4 grandchildren.
What jobs have you worked?
Early on, I lifeguarded and worked as a waitress at Pizza Hut, and then I coached at a junior college for cheerleading, and then I started my career as a teacher, and I have been teaching for 30 years.
What is your favorite TV show?
So back in the day, it used to be Beverly Hills 90210. More recently, though, it's Schitt's Creek.
What is your favorite food?
Oh, this is an easy one for me. Fried chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy.
Don't know what I think about the gravy, but okay. What are your favorite hobbies or pastimes?
So Pops and I, my husband and I, we like to hike together, and we also like to cheer on our Nebraska Cornhusker football team. By myself, I like to cheer on the Nebraska volleyball team. I also like to read books, and Pops and I like to play snooker.
Okay. What goals are you pursuing right now?
I agree with Laisha. We're trying to do a really good job putting out a podcast that book lovers will enjoy.
What is your favorite book?
My favorite book is Harry Potter.
Okay. For both of you, what is the story behind your podcast name?
Such a good question.
Yeah.
So we started our book club, and we often meet as a book club in our building, which we have named the Book Barn.
And now our podcast is recording here at the Book Barn.
This is the Book Barn.
Oh, okay.
It's our little nickname for it.
Okay.
Scarlett, you did a real good job.
Yeah.
I think we have a future podcaster here.
Yeah, I think so.
So, Laisha, if we're having a podcast where we have episodes for littles, I think we need to include a couple of the greats.
Absolutely.
Bill Martin Jr., Eric Carle, any parent, grandparent, early educator needs to include those books in their library.
Yeah, I think so.
Brown Bear, What Do You See? Was a wonderful collaboration between Bill Martin Jr. and Eric Carle. They did 3 additional bear books that follow the same question and answer format. So let's start by talking about Bill Martin Jr. He was a Kansan. He was born in Hiawatha in 1916, and unfortunately he died in 2004. He wrote more than 300 books. Can you imagine?
That's a lot.
That is a lot. Some of his books are Brown Bear, Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Those are two of my favorites. Yeah. A quote from Bill Martin Jr., he said, "I would like to think that my books help kids know who they are. That's a pretty big order, but that's what I hope for." So again, I've loved these books for many, many years, and I'm getting ready to read one with my granddaughter, Alaina Kay, and you might hear her in the background getting ready.
Yeah, fun.
Before we do that, Leisha, Eric Carle.
Yeah, so I brought a few books along. I have The Very Hungry Caterpillar, which is a favorite of my granddaughters right now. But my littlest granddaughter, Collins, for her first birthday, they did a Hungry Caterpillar theme, and it was just adorable. Mom and Dad both had matching shirts, and the little Hungry Caterpillar ate her way through her cake. And then she, for her first Mother's Day and Father's Day, she gave both Grandma and Papa books with the Hungry Caterpillar theme.
Oh my goodness. And his artwork, you the minute you see one of his pictures, you just know.
You absolutely know. It's very
Eric Carle.
recognizable.
Yes,
yeah, he has his own signature style for sure.
So what we know about Eric Carle, he was born in 1929 and he died in 2021. You're holding one of his books that I had in my library. Which book is that?
It is Today is Monday. Yes.
Yeah.
So in the back, there's a nice little about the author that I'd like to read. Eric Carle wants children to discover that learning can be fun, exciting, and silly, so he has created many books that are also toys. Books with flaps, holes, and other things to touch, such as The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Using brightly painted tissue paper in a vibrant collage style, Eric seems to bring the creatures and people in his books to life. Eric Carle's books have been translated into 18 languages, so children all over the world can enjoy them.
I love that. So get ready because Alaina Kay and I are going to read Brown Bear, What Do You See? And I will say, I used to read this to her daddy.
So fun.
So exciting. So here we go. We'll get there.
Brown bear, what do you see?
I see
Red dot.
looking at me.
Red dot, what do you see? I see a little duck.
Looking at me. Yellow duck, what do you see?
I see a blue horse by being a sea.
Looking at me. Blue horse, what do you see?
I see a green frog looking at me.
Green frog, what do you see?
I see a cat by being a sea.
What kind of cat?
Papa cat.
Yeah, purple cat. Ready?
Papa cat. What do you see? I see
What do we
a
see?
dog.
What kind of dog?
White dog, what do you see? I see a black sheep looking at me. Black sheep, what? I see a goldfish looking at me.
A goldfish. Goldfish, what do you see?
I see a teacher by at me.
Does that teacher look like your G-mama?
No.
No. Teacher, what do you see? I see
friends.
the friends are children looking at me. Yeah, they look like they're having fun. Children, what do you see? I see
A brown bear, a white dot, a little duck, a blue horse, a green frog, a papa cat, and a white dog, and a black sheep, and a goldfish, and a teacher.
looking at me. That's what I see. Did you love it?
Well, it's like a rainbow.
It is like a rainbow. It's amazing.
Yeah.
A big thank you to all our listeners for joining us today. Until next time, I'm Leisha.
And I'm Lanie. And keep your bookmarks bouncing.
I think I'm going to go
Okay,
with that.
sorry.
Too. That's okay. She tried to steal the mic from me.
I did.
Okay, it's her turn now, isn't it?
Sorry.